What the heck is this piece of shit? Sorry, I don't know what came over me. What's going on, everyone? Tallen here at 59 Direct, and it's time to take a look at a game that has had more negative coverage than Battlefront 2 when it was released. Yeah, remember those dark days? If you don't know what game I'm talking about, I'm referring to Diablo Immortal, the first mainline Diablo game to release on mobile and to get a port of said game on PC. Right from the start of this announcement, there was a huge worry for this game. You all remember this?
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke?
Or this?
We don't have any plans at the moment to do PC. Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Well, those days at BlizzCon have come and gone. A few closed betas have passed, and the game is finally releasing. So the question is it worth downloading and playing the game? Is the game any good? How bad are the microtransactions? It's a free-to-play game. Of course, there's gonna be microtransactions. And there have been a lot of videos and articles already on this, so we wanted to throw our hat into the ring. And of course, is this pay to win? Finally, and I think most important of all, what will this game do for Blizzard for both future games and simply their reputation as developers and a company themselves? We are going to do our best to answer all of these questions. Real quick though, if you enjoyed today's video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Over 70% of you are not subscribed for those of you who watch our content, and it would mean the world of us if you did. Just go ahead right there. Just go ahead and click it. Also, leave a like and a comment down below on your favorite Diablo game and class that you prefer to run. Comments always help in these videos. It actually helps out a ton. All right, let's jump down the rabbit hole. All right, first question, is the game worth downloading? After the announcement, lots of people became really worried that this game would become a stripped down version of a 2 and 3 mix of Diablo, very bare bones and just filled to the brim with microtransactions. As time went on and some closed betas were held, including some in Australia and other places, some positive remarks were starting to be made about this game. However, many still said to be cautious since it's a very common practice to make a beta/early build look good, but then the full release is, well, bad. Finally, June 2nd, 2022 arrived, and it is time for the mobile version of this game to release with a beta of the PC version. It's basically the same game as mobile. I don't know why they call it a beta, but regardless, it's basically the same game. So, how is it? Well, for the first few hours of the game, not too bad, actually. It's essentially Diablo 3 with some cleanups and changes for a more modern take on the game that has to be placed on a phone. Since the screen is easily smaller, this makes sense. You aren't playing on a monitor or TV, at least, again, on your mobile device. So it kind of makes sense for this kind of stuff. After trying the game out myself, I will admit there is a solid game here, actually. If you have never tried Diablo out before, or you want to see what it's all about, then download this game and play it for the first couple of hours. It will show you how fun the game is, how it plays, what it looks like, and how to customize your characters and skills. It plays just like a Diablo game, and aside from trying to join my friend after the opening intro, it played very well. We couldn't get into playing together, even though we were literally friends on PC, friends on the game and everything, and just, I don't know, it just wasn't working for some reason. There were no frame issues that I could at least tell on my 1440p 160Hz monitor. By the way, as I kind of might have hinted before, I played this on PC. Also tried it on mobile, but I didn't get any recorded gameplay. I simply recorded on my PC. So of course, that's what you're seeing here completely. Graphics, while not top of the pack or anything, they looked decent, and the spells and the skills looked colorful and fun to watch. Actually, the more I think about it, after saying all of that, I realized we just answered the first question and the second question, which was, is the game any good? And again, for the first couple of hours, this game is actually decent. If you're just looking for a game itself with the opening, the story, and the gameplay, it is a Diablo game, through and through. Now, the big question though, how's that end game? Because as anyone knows who's ever played any type of game like this, end game matters most. Okay, let's move on to the next question. How bad are the microtransactions? Again, this is a free-to-play game. Anyone think they would not include any? I don't know what to say. And the follow-up question to that, is this pay to win? Now, this next part is extremely important. Come a little closer. Closer. Come on. There you go. All right. If you have downloaded this game on your phone or PC, I need you to listen very carefully. Delete this game, give it a 1-star review, and go play Diablo 3. Oh, you think I'm joking? No, my good person. I am dead serious. Before being shown the shop, seen other articles and videos on the free-to-play grind and how much it would cost and what you could buy, your time sink, all of that, I thought the game was fine. Not the best Diablo game by any means, but for playing a little bit on the train going to and from work during the day, I could easily see myself playing this game. But then the shop was thrown straight into my face on screen and I just laughed. Oh, I'm serious again. I straight up laughed. This shop is just wow.
Wow.
What the heck were they thinking? We all give other games a hard time with shops, or in the case of Battlefront 2, we ripped EA apart so badly it caused countries to look at loot boxes at a government level. Now, Diablo is nowhere near as popular as something like Star Wars, so I don't see the same thing happening, at least at the government level. In terms of online, it's already happening. This shop is absolutely disgusting. Not only are there way too many currencies, you are barred off from getting almost any amount of endgame currency if you go full free to play. I will get into the endgame and the options you have here just in a bit. Then there is a free and paid battle pass. Oh, guess what? You miss out on one sign-in day? Tough luck. That stuff is gone, even on the paid version. And there's an extra bonus paid version if you want to pay just a little bit more on said battle pass. So there's technically 3 tiers of a battle pass. There have been tons of articles and videos on how long the grind is as a free-to-play player, at least at this current point in the game's life, because it just came out. How much it could potentially cost with all the legendary gems and other currencies, which again, we're getting into in a second, which affects your endgame loot, your armor, your stats, everything. And it is not looking good. Like, we're talking tens of thousands, if not close to $100,000. Don't believe me? Let's break this down. So, you start the game with what I like to call, and what many others call as well, the honeymoon phase. Game feels good, leveling up is no problem. Lots of loot dropping, it's a good time. Then slowly you start to reach level 30 and up, and you start to notice things slow down quite a bit, but you push on through to the end of the game. You get that campaign done. Now what's left? Well, you have PvE and PvP stuff, mostly Riffs in the end game, and then there's some PvP stuff after that. Let's start with the Riffs. Riffs work very similar to how they worked in Diablo 3. Think of them as just dungeons that you complete, and then you get a ton of loot after beating the boss. Sounds simple, right? Well, here you farm what is called legendary gems. Enter the rift, beat a bunch of enemies, beat a boss, hope for a gem to drop. Pretty simple. Essentially, what these will allow you to do if you get these gems is to attach them to your armor, giving you more stats and buffs. So what actually happens when you simply just run the rift? How are the rates? Just like Diablo 3, right? You literally went up to the podium, started the rift, you did the rift, you're done, boom, you got loot. So how is it? How are the rates? Well, they're pretty terrible. They are pretty terrible. So unless you get super lucky, and I mean super lucky, you probably won't get any of these for most of the runs. Now, is there a way to actually increase this chance to get said legendary gems? Why, yes, there is actually. At the beginning of the rift, you can select to use a rare crest, which gives you a 10% chance to increase that chance of a legendary gem dropping. Or if you simply just want a 100% chance, then you need to use what's called a legendary crest, which, by the way, legendary crests are even given to you by the battle pass. I think it's around 2 to 3 per month. Could be wrong on that one. It's more along the free-to-play ones. Or you can buy them with real money. How do you buy them with real money? You have to buy orbs, which then is another currency to then buy legendary crests to then use in the rifts to hope to get legendary gems. Starting to see the pattern here? Now, any legendary gem you get, which a reminder is what you have to put into your armor for stat gains by use of a rare crest. Remember, the rare crest is the one that gives you 10%. So you use the rare crest, 10% in the rift, and you happen to get a legendary gem, then that is capped at 2 stars. Oh, did I forget that little detail? Yeah, every legendary gem you get using a rare craft for said rifts, which bumps your chance up to 10% again, is capped at 2 stars out of 5. Meaning the only way for you to get the most powerful 5-star gems to put on your armor, you have to either get super, super lucky, which is like 0.05% chance or something like that, or by using a legendary gem, which we already said is either 2 to 3 per month, or by buying with real money. Now, just because you have a legendary gem to use at the beginning of the rift does not actually guarantee you the 5-star gem to then put in your armor. That's all random, by the way. Basically, think a loot box or a gotcha banner from other games. Now, they do have a little bit of a pity system, but it's only after 50 attempts where you can finally get your first 5-star gem. So basically think of it this way. You've got to run that rift 49 times to then get a guaranteed. hoping that you can get that. Now, look at it this way also. If you're a free-to-play player, because you have to use legendary gems, obviously, that's the whole pity system part. You get 2 to 3 per month. That's basically it. That, however, is already over $100, since when you use the $100 option, that only gives you 45 legendary gems to try and get a drop in the Rifts. So you've got to pay more to even hit that pity system drop. Then don't forget, you can actually feed legendary gems into other legendary gems to then awaken that gem to unlock even more sockets in your armor, where you can then put more gems to power your character up. Oh, and don't forget again, you can only get 2 to 3 legendary gems a month by the free pass. So yeah, it's pretty clear that this game was made to look good at the beginning and let you finish the campaign. Then if you try out any amount of the end game, the switch is flipped and you better be ready to pay up or not have a life, basically, when grinding this game. This is a very common practice when it comes to mobile games. It's how they get you. Lower the rates for farming an end game grind, limit the number of certain currencies you get in free to play, limit how often you can run some events. I don't think Immortal actually does this, but it wouldn't surprise me, and other games do this obviously. And always push the shop in your face after every single run of a stage. Actually, funny enough, you run a rift in this game, and every single time you finish it, they say, hey, pay us $1 and we'll increase your chances by 500% to get some other drops. Not even kidding. Plus, they also like to push the battle pass stuff into your face. So again, more stuff to buy. And although not 100% proven, it would not surprise me if they place you into servers with other paying players to show off what those players have bought, whether it's skins and other stuff. Yes, I know skins don't help with the gameplay or anything like that, but again, it's another tactic to make you pay more. Trust me, these companies do their research on the best way to get you to spend your money, regardless if you think you're in control. I could go on, but I think you get the picture. Heck, I did not even mention how all of this is character bound and not account bound. So if you want to create another character, like most people do in these types of games, guess what? You gotta do it all over again. The grinding and the paying. Activision Blizzard here basically was like, make us more money or else. And this is where the game has landed, which is sad because again, under all of this BS, there is a solid game here. It's not worth touching. My friend Lemon, the friend I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video who I tried to team up with and unfortunately things weren't working, is the one I got to play this game with the most. And then we just went over to Diablo 3. But I wanted to ask him something. How would you describe this game in one sentence? This was his quote: the Diablo 3 alpha in 2022. And you know what? He is 100% correct. If you played Diablo 3 way back in the day when it first launched with the whole shop that it had and selling things, this is basically that, but even worse now. And that is a really bad look, especially today, because it was really bad back in the day. So the question becomes, should you play this game? And my answer should be pretty obvious now. No, just stay away from this game. Don't let them suck you into the game, and especially into the end game pain system. And to everyone who's just going to simply say, stay free to play, have some self-control, for some people, it is not that easy. It literally isn't. There are people who can't help themselves, and the companies and the people who make these games know it. They do their research. They get psychologists to come in to figure out ways to get people to pay into these systems, no matter what. It's what they do. Plus, this is also them testing the waters to see what they can get away with in future games, so the company can make even more money. Send them a message. Do not play this game. Do not buy anything from the shop and play something else. There are way better games out there. Heck, if you really want to get the Diablo experience, just go play 3 right now. It's usually at a pretty cheap price these days, and you won't have to buy gems just to get more powerful. Last thing I'm going to mention that I mentioned at the very beginning of the video was, how is this going to affect Blizzard's name and the game itself? Well, I think you know how the game is going to be received already, at least among gamers. In terms of Blizzard's name, they've basically dropped down to the same place that DICE EA has with Battlefield and BioWare EA has with Anthem. Each game had their own different reasons for going down that low, especially in the eyes of the players, but I think you get the idea. Again, I could go on and on when it comes to this kind of stuff, but at this point, I'm beating something that's dead already. So I'm just going to leave it there. All right, I think that's about it. Lots of info I know that I dropped, and it maybe got a little emotional there near the end, but I wanted to give you guys every bit of information we possibly had when it came to this game and just my own personal thoughts. We don't usually cover these type of mobile games on the channel, but since it's also on PC, we wanted to take a look at it. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comments, and let us know if you've ever planned to play another Blizzard game, or if you're simply going to be moving on. or again, just going back and playing an old classic game. And of course, leave a like if you happen to like the video, and sub to the channel again if you happen to enjoy the video. It really does help us out a ton. I've been Tallen with 5 9 Directs, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for stopping by, and again, see you in the next one. Johnny.